fell into the Chinese trap, the Iranian trap, the Russian trap.
The arrogance trap.
Curly Joe, look, Curly Joe is going to get the Stooges Award. He's going to get the Hollywood Award for being the biggest clown in modern times. He jumped on everybody at the same time. You don't have your neighbor, Mexico. You twist the arm. But they don't like that. You know, the Canadians. When people wanted to fight the Germans, they would go to Canada and then go over to before America got in the war. Canada is like the 51st state almost, whatever. So, Canada is, look, although Canadians are better than Americans, but you can't tell the difference between a Canadian and an American. When I was in South America, to make sure that people didn't think they was Americans, Canadians always had their flag on their lapel, they had it on their backpack, they had the Canadian flag. They had, we're not American. And sometimes white folks, the Colombians would come, oh brother, come, there's a lot of Americans down there, sit down. You think where they spraying up Americans? You think I'm going to go down there and sit out on a picnic table with an umbrella with Americans? You got to be joking. In Colombia, the American, the DEA is just coming down there acting a fool. And they blast the American embassies like a fortress. And Americans just driving around in bulletproof cars, and they want me to go and sit out front. I said, no, I ain't into that. If there's any Americans, you just let me know where they are so I can go as far away. If they're on the east side of town, I'm going on the west. Right now I'm just talking, I'll wrap this up because the stuff we want to talk about now takes some study. You don't want to make a super plan. I just wanted to read what I read because I was shocked because I was waiting for a response to what I said last night. And I read that. I read it again. I took out my notepad. I said, I'm taking credit for that. That is what I said last night. And I want you to respond to me within so many hours, or that's it. And I said, if people don't cooperate, they're going to have to answer to the Iranian security forces. When you run that off, you'll see. Just run it back when you, if you don't remember it now, run it back. You'll see, this is exactly what I said. This is the head of the Iranian security forces. So either we just got lucky. Okay? Call that clairvoyant. Or we work with the Iranians to hook it up. It don't make no difference how it happened. It happened. Right? That's why I won't mention it hardly again, every now and then. That's why I don't mess around with Mukhtar and them. In the good language that we used to talk in the dunya, those is little niggas. They little insignificant niggas. I'm just saying this is expression of the vocabulary we used to talk. They're non-important jackasses. And we're in the top echelon. There's no Negroes in the world, and I'm say it again so you understand. In the world that has the same influence as we do, neither one. And if you can think of some, I'm just sitting here to hear. Who is? I know it sounds silly, we're sitting out here in the South, talking out the side of our mouth, but it's real. It is actually real. That's what's so, and you know the white man knows that because you can see what he's doing. FBI popping up, or I started writing a couple of letters that I just got in the mail the other day, March or April date on them, and they just showed up. Anyway, they would try to build up their team. They make their experts. Like Abdul-Malik was supposed to be the black expert. You don't know nobody. He read about everybody. I would tell him about friends of mine like W.L. Nolan and all of them, you know, that talked to Solomon, that brother's man who had killed in the yard in '68 in Soledad. He would read the book and then he would come back and tell me such and such. He gave the one UC Irvine, it was way out in the country, I think of the place, in Southern California. He gave a lecture out there and he talked about Iran. Ahmed Shama and all our crew said, look what he said. I didn't tell them, they were making him the Iranian expert. I said, y'all, I mean, in those days I couldn't say, what's wrong with Joe? I'm the Iranian expert. You don't know what he's talking about. I didn't say that. But that's what I was saying. They make Zayd shocking them. Political experts. Over how they say people follow white folks. Well, not white folks. Remember, black people have turned over there. Sherman Jackson is over there. Their experts know what they tell them. But they don't know, they can't, look, I'm going to tell you what Iranians used to do to me. Here, they would ask me, what are we going to do? That's what they would ask me. What are we going to do? In other words, they got so used to me giving lectures and saying, now Dr. Khalid Siddiqui really had it down pat. But after him, it was me. Not Muhammad Al-Assi. Muhammad Al-Assi has never given a lecture where he lays out, now this should be the plan. He's mumbo-jumbo, flipping coins up in the air and talking. Never any hidayah, never guidance, never direction. Fancy footwork, an analysis. You don't need no analysis. Maybe in 1981, 82, you need the analysis for everybody, analyze for everybody. But not in no 2015, 14, 2000. You don't need no more analysis, right? You don't need to analyze. I mean, excuse me, let me go back. Definitely you have to update your analysis. But who the bad guys are, who the good guys are, and all that, you don't need that. You already know who they are. So anyway, I just wanted to mention those things, and we have suggestions. Well, not we have suggestions, but if somebody was suggesting for what China and Russia should do, I might be analyzing that, but I would never say, I want you to do this, that, and another, because it might be some law against it, I don't know, right? Yeah, they might say, you said such and such. That's helping Russians. It's against American interests. You know, so far, for the last 40 years, we've avoided every trap the United States government has laid. Do you realize how long 40 years are? And can you imagine the amount and the number of tricks that they done pulled out of their hat in the last 40 years, and we've avoided every last one of them. Now, they try to run you crazy, they try to do this, that, and another. Now let's think about who's crazy. See, because we can go by if they say you're paranoid, I say, it's fine. Let's pull out the calendar. This happened, that happened. So you gotta remember, I don't say anything specific unless it happened. Half the time I'll give the date. Like what I said tonight, we said that last night. We said what we said. That happened last night. You have a video, and if they say you're exaggerating reality, let's just play it on the video. Right? That's why when you said certain things will come on in 10 minutes, I said, no, just wait. I'm going to read the whole thing. So it won't be any interruption. This is what happened today. The lecture they gave in Russia was on the Tuesday the 18th. This is Tuesday the 18th. The only thing was, it was their Tuesday. It was hours ago, because it's Wednesday now. You see what I mean? That means either they was watching it already, or somebody called them right away and told them, change the script, that's what we want you to talk about. Or put these elements in there to satisfy those questions. Remember what I said, if you don't do this, I'm stretching out. So they satisfied the questions that I brought up. They'll be on the thing tomorrow. You can read it, you can see it. I'll make videos. I'll make copies. You can sit right there, play it, take notes, and then play this one, and look at it. Right? Does what happened last night coincide with what happened this morning over there? And does it coincide with what we're saying now? Okay, and I'll close with this. Dear friends and brothers, we're in the big league here. I'm not going to say it much anymore, but just in case anybody don't understand, that we're in the big league. It just so happens we're in a big league by ourselves. It don't make no, Iran don't make us in the big league. Iran don't make us in the big league. It just so happens that there's a symbiotic relationship with them and us. If they sanction them, they sanction us. Right? Whatever they've done to them on all these years, they've done the same thing to us. They've been the target for 40 years, we've been the target for 40 years, right? They have done a good job, and so have we. We've done a very good job, because there's nobody else African. They said, well, they slowed down your money. You don't have it. I said, but we got 8 pieces of property here. Don't nobody else have none. What the hell is wrong with it? You don't even think about it. And we don't say if they would have left us alone, we would have built 50 properties. You know, that's probably true. But we don't say if. This verse says, don't say if, because that's anything for the shame. So, whatever Allah got written for us, we're going to do it. In Oakland, probably most of the wealth, because they just broke all the laws. They broke all the laws. they got to take care of all of that stuff. We'll be suing the people for years. And we're going to be suing them here. They broke the law here. They gave us sanctions. It's on paper. They said, well, you didn't, the people we'd have taking care of the property and stuff, they come and they say, here's a bill for $3,050. So what did you didn't get the paperwork and all that? No. Then they'll drive you over to pay the bill. They won't pay it, then they'll drive you over to pay the bill. Okay. No problem. But we're not going to go for that, right? We're going to come back around. Then they send us a bill here. All the paperwork, all the wrong, everything wrong. Wrong numbers, wrong, that. Then they sent us an $11,000 bill. I don't know if you remember that. An $11,000 bill for the property over there. So I got the Negro lawyer. I paid him such amount of money, and he got it reduced down to $500. But I ain't gonna know $500. You can't sue everybody at once. They try to overload you so you just go off, bam, 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 bam. We don't do that. Everything we do is systematic. If I were to respond to everything, I would just jump up and say, everybody's the police, man, everybody. That's what I would do. That's what it looks like. That's what I would say. No big deal. That's delay. You got to remember. You have to go over the paperwork. Have we used delay properly? We would say yes. And Hadith say delay is good in everything, except religious activity. So anyway, okay, all right. So are there any questions or comments? I have one question. Does any of this make sense?
Yeah, sometimes, it's a little bit kind of surreal because, we're just kind of here in the Southeast and, you get involved because you want to help. And so sometimes there's always, Shaitan comes and whispers in your ear a little bit and says, hey, you ain't really doing nothing. And then this happens,
Yeah.
So it's a good feeling, it's a good feeling.
Well,
for someone like me,
Yeah, well, no, you got to remember, we put people in strange positions that they didn't.
Right.
Everything is a victory. You got to look. Remember, now it was 2 weeks ago we went to the Eid out there, remember?
Yeah. Right.
You heard part of the phone conversation. We had the speaker on. The guy, we won't call him back. I called him once. He said, we're going to take care of you. We got it covered. You could see him talking to me. Don't you worry. Okay, now, how could we, this one used to be our friend, this one, everybody was our friend. Where did they all go? Where did they all go? And the question is, what did we do to everybody to make them do whatever they did?
Told them the truth.
Well, sure, but yeah. So I was asking the question, Does this seem real, what we just went through? Does it seem, because we got 1 or 2 more minutes before prayer. We got about 10 minutes. How many more minutes do we have before prayer? About 10 minutes?
Like 8:30.
Something like that.
Yeah, 10 minutes was 8:37 up there.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'm just asking the question again. Does what just happened here and last night make any sense at all? Because I want to know if I'm tripping or not. I mean, I'm asking, am I tripping? Am I tripping? You know, I mean, this really, I'm asking as a friend, is this real, or am I walking on a cloud somewhere? It's just a question.
Well, you're not tripping because it's this is the point of having everything recorded.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
That is why we like to have it recorded.
right.
Well, the other question, does the addition and everything work out close in your minds as it is in mine? In other words, this, when I add 2 and 2 together, it comes out of certain things, right? When I add, I mentioned this, I mentioned that, that adds up to a picture. Does that same type of picture appear in your mind, this appeared in mine? Like when I add these people together with these people, and I make certain demands, and this lecture of the security apparatus from Iran answers the question. Does he answer the question that I asked, or am I tripping? I'm just saying. Does it seem like, you know?
No, that's what happened.
It seems like it's just, you know, you could, I guess it's, you know, the skeptics will have to put it into the book of coincidences, you know. That's one heck of a coincidence.
Right, well,
They
that's
changed
why
the
I
tune.
put the book of coincidences. That was 12 years ago. Because of the coincidences then, right? So the book of coincidences is not new. This same thing that just happened today has been going on for decades. So we adopted the pattern of behavior of the system, and that we've been able to forecast for a long, long time. I remember when Reagan became president, I said they're going to take us back to the 50s. They're going to come back with bold haircuts and all of that stuff. That's what I said in the 1980s, the University of Sacramento. Sacramento State. Because Reagan was old time, they needed what he was talking about, and that's where he took them back to. Before it was all over, the Negroes was wearing bold haircuts. Remember them? Yeah, that bold haircut, they used to put a bowl around your head and cut your hair.
Right.
That's what the Negroes was wearing. Like a crew cut today, that army haircut. Except for the hair sticking way up, the Negro was wearing a bowl. You could put a bowl around the Negro's head and cut. And that's what they was wearing, remember? In the 80s? They were bowl haircuts. They were doing everything that they did in the 40s and the 50s. Almost. Same stuff. Okay, that was clairvoyance for that time. But it's a little more serious right now. It's a little more treacherous right now. So if there's no more, are there any questions about it? Is there anything that don't fit or that you would just want to question about it?
Well, I guess, I don't know, why do you feel you gotta threaten people to get them to listen to you, you know?
No, that's, okay, it's like, people play with you. We're gonna call it done, we're gonna pray in about 5 minutes, inshallah.
5 minutes, inshallah.
Yeah, this is about the right time.
It's going to be over here, right?
Yeah, right here.
Where is that place where we're going to be there?
Right downstairs, just go all the way, go downstairs again, and go all the way to the end, and then turn to the right.
Okay, Jazakallah.
The bathroom was right downstairs.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Yeah,
Sorry
sure.
to disturb you.
No. So, why do you have to threaten people?
Maybe threaten's the wrong word, but you gotta really kind
got
of
to-
forcefully ease them in a, when it's, you're just trying to help them. You know?
You gotta remember, if you pretend a long time, they may still respect you, but they think you're gonna take this stuff perpetually. That's one of the things about rocking people to sleep. Rock them to sleep. Rock them to sleep. You can rock people to sleep. I did it with abdul-alim, with everybody. Just rock them to sleep. They think in a certain way. I used to be riding along, abdul-alim would be looking at me out of the corner of his eye, and I could see him, peripheral vision, I would be looking right at him. And he'd be looking at me, he'd say, I just want to pick your brain, and he'd be looking suspicious and asking me those dumb questions. Then he got to the point to where he thought, I don't have to ask him no more questions. I know now. I knew what the hell he was thinking. And I knew what he knew. Absolutely nothing. Nothing but what I just fed him. And what his people told him, they were trying to build an artificial leader. Like all the leaders, Siraj and them, all those, they're artificial leaders. They're not real leaders. If they were real, they would be doing something, right? So all of those people, their people are artificial leaders. But in a close future, we're going to have to cooperate with all these people. Because if you just go around and say, that all them people, they ain't nothing, well, those people have followers. What we have to do is convince them people that it's better now to do right. Not only the Negroes, but Iranians. We have to convince them to do right. You know what I mean? Okay, they may be restrained. We tell them, okay, that's it. We're tired of y'all playing. So straighten up and fly right or else. Then they come around. They realize the thing is up. Because a lot of people are like this. If you don't tell them every time they do something, your silence means they get, all the people was like, they think, he didn't mention nothing. So we got away with that. So they would begin to think that you are basically stupid and they're smart.
Because I was thinking about this last night. Does it come a point where they can rest on their laurels? Like they've reached a certain point where, for example, where they've been able to do what they did as far as discovering the CIA situation. So can they rest?
Can the United States?
No, Iran.
Can Iran? No. They don't get a chance. They don't get that. They got an assignment.
No, I know they do, but can they convince themselves?
No, they won't even. They're not going to get a chance to. The system is not going to allow it. They've been on Iran's case. The reason Iran is independent is because they've been on their case. Saudi Arabia is not independent. They buy everything. They don't produce nothing. Right. Hardly nobody over there produces anything. Only Iran, because they're independent. Nobody can rest on their laurels. Even the government agents here, That's why you notice we're moving back to, we didn't, decided about the percentage. 20%, 30%, 50/50 on them. Okay, they can't, before the snitches would retire, they can't retire this time. No, you ain't going nowhere. That's why we, hold on, hey homeboy, y'all ain't going nowhere. Anybody that's been involved, we say, hey, hold it. You know, no retirement. Because they have a recycling thing where they do, people do their thing and then they go on. Okay, what's the name, next door, and the guys. Okay, Steve and all of them, okay, they can go. But the big time snitches, Mukhtar and them, they're not going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. We on their tail. They're going to answer the questions. For the next 10 years, they're going to answer every question we got in our mind. We're going to ask, we're not asking them, we're asking the people, why they do that, why they do that, why. We're going to ask all those questions and we're moving forward at the same time. This thing has been on the books for 20 years almost. This stage right now has been 20 years. I mean, we've been talking this exact language with people who've been here. Well, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to do that? And going over and over and over and over. And then, bam, it becomes clear this is what you're going to do. All right. So, nobody gets a chance to sit on, number one, Iran will not be allowed. The government won't allow them. Like the government won't allow us. We can't rest. You can't even want no rest. That's the way they shut people down. I wish they would leave me alone. I don't wish they would leave me alone. Anything you do to me, I'm going to attack it. If they give me some drink or something that have my legs hurting and my back hurting, I'm going to attack that. So yeah, okay. I'm going to run them hills till I get better, whether you like it or not. I'm going to cut grass with my sweat gear. I'm putting the sweat gear back on and sweat it off. I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, because see, you have control. You have to take control. They study each person to find out what do they fear, what do they want to gain, what do they fear a loss. We say, no, it ain't none of that. I don't want to be comfortable. Everybody wants to be comfortable at first, right? I don't want to be comfortable. Oh no, I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want nothing like that. And I'm not going to accept nothing like that. That's my personal life. That way they can't do nothing to you. What you going to do, boss man? Well, we'll kill you when you hurry up and get started. That's my response to anything they say. I'll be driving along. And you want to mind your own business. As soon as they pull me a hold of it, I've trained myself to flip my attitude. I don't want you messing with me or take me to jail. That's the first thing I tell the police. Police, take me to jail. I don't want it. You know, and I mean it. I mean it. Take me to jail. Yeah, I mean it. Everything, that stuff is little. I can't go to jail but for a day or 2 days. Or a month. Or what? A year? Not possible. Okay, we'll close up, inshallah. We have Adhan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.